What is going on? Prosperity practitioner Brandon Hanley here, the voice of a generation. I got thoughts, always got thoughts. Don't need to share every single one of them, but one of them that I will share with you right now is when you're in the car, you have opportunities. You have opportunity to consume content, or you have the opportunity to create it. Or you also just have the opportunity to be still and be quiet and just kind of take what the world's throwing at you. I had this burning that we can... I'm just kidding. I have this burning sensation, this desire, this burning desire to create. And I get in, like I said, I'll get into the vehicle and I'll find myself listening to some content, and then I'll find myself saying, I want to make a podcast, I want to share some thoughts, I want to communicate, I want to create. And then in the back of my head too, I also hear the audio's not going to be perfect. The audio's not going to be the best. And I gotta say, so we're on car rides. We're on car rides of prosperity, where we just take the opportunity. The prosperous mindset's got to be looking for the opportunity to feel fulfilled in life. And right now, this portion of my life brings me a little bit of fulfillment, and I hope that it's bringing you some value. We've discussed this a little bit before. Sometimes in all of it, the message is the desire to get out and share, and sometimes the audio quality is not super duper. So I hope you can forgive that, so that we can move on to today's quote, which comes to us from Coolidge. Coolidge. And the funny thing is, I see so many great quotes from him, but I have no idea what he was like as a president. No idea. He's got some great quotes though. Prosperity is only an instrument to be used, not a deity to be worshipped. Prosperity is only an instrument to be used, not a deity to be worshipped. Look, this is where, if you take the Buddhist line of thinking, or you take what the Buddha says, and they say that all suffering is from desire, I believe that I might have gotten this correction from Alan Watts. I might have gotten it from somewhere else. I don't recall right offhand. Desire, and this one comes from kind of like this one comes from a lot of New Age people, but desire is the universe, is God, is Yahweh, is whatever, the great architect reaching out and planting the seed and letting you know that you can do or have all the things that pop into your mind if you wanted to, if it's worth it to you. What's the sacrifice? I hate to use the word sacrifice too, because when you give of yourself, money, time, labor, any of those things, to get what you want in life, is that a sacrifice? I don't believe it's a sacrifice. I believe that is living. That's simply living. When you give something that you have in return for something that you want, you're living. That's how you go about life. You decided that this action or activity that you are doing right now is worth more to you now, is worth more in the form of what you receive for what you're doing for it. And it should be. So that is desire. Desire propels and drives all that. And suffering for that desire. Are you suffering for that desire? You may be. You may consider what you're doing to be monotonous. You may not like what it is that you're doing in exchange for that. And that could be, just suffering in and of itself. Which isn't where I wanted to take this, man. Where I wanted to take this. And listen, you've got to make that decision. Is what you're doing now worth the outcome? What is the outcome of what it is that you're doing for why you're doing it? What are the reasons? What are the reasons? What is the greater than my boss needs this paper, this person needs that paper, if this happens, that sale's going to be made, if this happens, that person's going to get their drink, if I don't do this, that person, thinking in restaurant terms, if you don't, fire the steak, then that person's not going to get the steak, you're going to have an upset customer, you may not have a job. That's very kind of constricted thinking. What's the bigger picture? What is the bigger picture? That person gets their steak, they have a great night, they've got a great relationship, you've helped enhance the evening. What you're doing today could perpetuate the universe in a great way. Perhaps, that guy, instead of being upset and miserable with overdone or underdone steak and his experience, now has this wonderful experience because you care enough to do your job. That he's going to go out there and he's going to see the world. He's like, man, that was a wonderful steak. And he's going to have, thinking that maybe he's married to a woman. And he says, man, this is a great night. We're having a great evening. And that is going to, those waves of joy are going to emanate out into the universe. I think that is a way that you can think about what it is that you're doing that maybe, sometimes seems mundane, but if you think about the bigger picture, if you get out of that constricted mindset, then you're able to see just how much you're actually bringing to the world, how much joy you're bringing to the world, and just what a lot of fun that can be. The other part of this is, again, I'm going to read the quote, prosperity is only an instrument to be used, not a deity to be worshipped. Anytime we worship something, anytime that we put something above ourselves or greater than ourselves, then it has the potential to bring us dissatisfaction. We are attached to those outcomes. We are attached. That desire is attached to some type of perceived outcome. We have an outcome that we want from that desire, and if that desire doesn't come true, that outcome doesn't turn out the way that we want it to, then we're upset. Then we're disappointed. And that is what the Buddhists mean when they say, this is interpretation. I think that all the world is up for interpretation. That's what's meant by all desire leads to suffering. It's the attachment to the desired outcomes. The attachment to the desired outcomes. You go up to a pretty fella, you say, hey fella, I'd like to have you over tonight and we can hang out and do whatever. And you're looking forward to it. In your mind, you've already got it all. You've got the whole evening planned out. Everything's planned out. You know what you're going to do. You know what you're going to say. You've got this whole stage is set. Lights, camera, action. That person says no. He says no. I got some other things I'm doing. Not interested. Man. Then we set like this movie reel. We set this whole reel into motion. Well, first of all, we feel rejected, right? We're like, oh my God, oh no, oh no, oh no. And like maybe you'll go look in the mirror, maybe you've got a booger. Maybe your hair looks like crap. Maybe you go back and it's like all the things about you, right? All the things about you physically that you in the look of an eye don't see attractive, and now you're again attached to this outcome that you had all planned out. You're dejected, you're sad, you're morose, you're just feeling down because somebody said no to you. And your experience isn't what you wanted it to be. And you're attached to that. Your attachment is what's dragging it down, right? The attachment to that particular outcome, that particular desire leads to a particular desired outcome, and when that doesn't happen, you get sad, right? And again, with prosperity, it's an instrument. You utilize your prosperity to gain leverage, like a fulcrum, to uplift yourself, to uplift others, to bring to light some things, to again, I love how he says this, used as an instrument, to be used as an instrument. It's not something that we want to worship. We don't want to look at that and be like, hey, if I had prosperity, then my life is better. My desired outcome is this prosperity. Without that prosperity, then which I'm worshiping, then it's all going to come crashing down. And Calvin Coolidge, again, the quote is, prosperity is only an instrument to be used, not a deity to be worshipped. Anytime, again, that you are attaching your desire to an outcome, you're attaching, you're worshiping this prosperity because that's all you want in your life, then that can in of itself be constricting. That's all that you see, and you're not seeing what that prosperity can bring to your life. When you see prosperity, you see just the one thing, but what is it and how can you leverage it? How can you utilize it as a tool, prosperity as a tool in your life? Good one, Mr. Coolidge. Thanks for that one. And today's prosperity quote is checking out.